Welcome back, future developers. Today we are going to talk about variables. This concept is a basic block of any program. You saw variables last time in the previous lesson. So what is variable? You can imagine variable as a labeled box. From technical perspective, I have a video in a channel talking more about the memory and how variable works. But to make it simple, imagine it as a label. You might have boxes named player health or player name. In Python, creating variable is as easy as writing a label and assigning some value to it using equal sign. I can have Mario, which will be player name. The player will have some amount of lives, let's say 100, and I can have some flag saying that the game is not over yet. There are several conventions how you should name your variables, but this is not important right now. When we talk variables, it's important to realize that they have associated data type. In Python, it is a little bit hidden. It's not up to you to specify what the data type is. You are just expected to provide a value, and based on the value, Python will decide. It might be good from time to time, but if you are used to more like C++ world, it might be a little bit scary. First data type might be integer. Integer is simply a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. If you need to add some decimal part, we have float. The float variables are used in precise computations. We can talk simulations, for instance. It might seem a little bit counterintuitive when we talk computers and pixels, but believe me, you will see later that it's frequently necessary to count with sub-pixel precision. But of course, numbers are not enough. You need to work with text here or there. Actually, in the previous lesson, we already did that. And the data type associated with text is called string. And the last basic type we are going to mention now is boolean, bool in Python. These variables can have only two values, true and false, and they are great for remembering current state of some binary decisions. Is game paused? Yes or no? Did player found a key? Yes or no? Sometimes you need to convert data from one type to another. Python provides built-in functions for this. We have score equal to 100. If we want to print this score on the screen, convert integer to string. For that we can use str function. In a similar manner, we can have a level represented by a string, number 5. In this case, 5 is not an integer, but character or string due to the quotes. If we want to use it as a number and increase its value by 1, first we should convert it to integer. For that we use int function. And let's say that I need to have health in a percentage for some health bar, for instance. So I will take my player health, convert to float, and divide by 100. If you are not sure what data type the variable currently has, you can use function type. Before we jump into exercise to our final project, let me show you something interesting. Working with variables with respect to their types might be surprising. So let's say we have a spell level of some certain spell on value 3. Now we want to increase the level by 1. So I will write spell level is equal to spell level plus 1, and I will print it out. So spell level, I'm still missing English and Czech keys, is spell level. When I run it, I can see that spell level is 4. That's what we sort of expected. But what if I will try to do this? Spell level string is equal to 3. And because I use quotation marks, it means that now it will be handled as a string, not as an integer as before. If I want to increase it by 1, the same as before, and print it out, remove the space here, it's not gonna work. Can only concatenate string, not int, to string. I cannot concatenate string and a number. I can fix it in a way that this number can be turned to a string, like this. What's going to happen now? It works, right? But the problem is that it's not what you might expect. First case is 4 because 3 as a number plus 1 as a number gives you 4. However, the second case, 3 as a string or character plus 1 as a character don't give you 4, but 31. Because plus in this context is not addition, but concatenation, as you saw in the error message before. So don't forget about it, that might be quite confusing. And let's jump into our final project of this lesson. I have the code here, so there's no need for you to wait until I finish typing. Let me run it first, then show you what is it about. It's sort of a list of information relevant to games. I have my character creator with a name, character level, health, and some tag if character is alive or not. I have information about game score, some fun with variable types, and game information in the end. Let's dissect. First part. What you can see here is a string Zara used as character name. Number 5 used for her level, number 100 used for her health, and we say that the character is indeed alive. When it comes to data types, Zara is string, 5 is integer, and 100 is float. The difference how you can distinguish between integer and float is in the decimal point. Now, internally for Python, this character level will be treated as integer and the character health will be treated as float, which might be interesting in some arithmetic operations such as division. And here I have simple print when I'm printing out the values. You can pause the video and write it down. Second part is about game score. Let's say that the player score will be 1000 and the high time score will be 5000. There is nothing special here. I have two numbers and printed them on the screen. Are integers in both cases. And now a little bit of fun with data types. Game title is apparently string. Let's call it Python Adventure. Our player will have 3 lives. The rating of our game might be 4.7 and our game really doesn't have a multiplier. The player lives is equal to 3 because it should be a crisp number. We have 3 lives, we don't have 3.2 lives. On the other hand, the game rating is way better to have as a float. What I have here is the print of the various things. I'm not printing the variable themselves, but their data types. Let me run it and show you this part. Type of game title is class string, str. Type of player lives is class int, which is integer. Type of game rating is float, and type of game is multiplier is bool. This type function might be very useful, especially for debugging. From time to time, your program might misbehave in a way which is not completely obvious to you, and double check the type might be one way to go. Now about the conversion. You can see it here. Level number is 5. Level string will be the number converted to string. Visually, from the outside perspective, nothing really happened. But the thing is that now level string is not 5 as a number, but 5 as a string. And I showed you before what does it mean if you try to concatenate string with something different. From the other side, I can have health percentage written as a text. But when I really need to work with the value as a number, I should first convert it to integer. You might ask why I even need to have health percentage as a string. And the reason might be that when you want to print it on a screen or draw it on the screen, you from time to time really need to have it as a string. It's not really a number, right? It's more like textual information. And here is the last part with the game information. I have several variables, game name, game version, and max players, which I'm composing here to one long string. I really need to have it as a string because I'm concatenating things together. It means that the game version must be converted to string, so I can do something like this and have it like that. The same for the max players. If I want to have the variable max players as a part of this long string, I should convert it to string. If you want to experiment further, you can try to incorporate the knowledge from previous lesson. For instance, my character name is now hard-coded to Zara. I can easily change it via input. What is your name? And when I run it, the game is going to ask me, what is your name? My name is Pavel. And that's it. Now character name is not Zara, but Pavel. Experiment and have fun. Variables and data types are a foundation of programming. As a developers, not only game developers, you are going to use them all the time. Be sure you understood what are these and how to use them. And don't forget to practice as much as you can. That will be all for today. Thanks you for watching and see you next time with lesson 3.